adrenaline rush now. Adrenaline rush, adrenaline rush, come on. So what you wanna do? Get another kilo. You wanna sweat it, but you ain't got no flow. I'm on your TV, kicking up your radio. I'm on your video, mashing up your disco. You know when I come down, I come rough. I need no permission, cause I'm in the right position now. You know when I come down, I come rough. So feel the vibe of the adrenaline rush now. Adrenaline rush, adrenaline rush now. Adrenaline rush, adrenaline rush now. Adrenaline rush, adrenaline rush.
Hello and welcome to the best of Dakar 2021. What a spectacular year it has been. So much action out on the stages and in the bivouac. Now, coming up in the show, we'll bring you the best highlights from all 5 categories. We'll take a technical tour around the KAMAZ. We'll compare the differences between the 2-wheel drive and the 4-wheel drive in the car category. Toby Price gives us an in-depth tour of his Dakar Hotel, and we sit down with Mr Dakar himself, Stephane Peterhansel. But first, here is the best of the lightweight side-by-side action. On performance alone, there has been little to choose between the OT3 and the SSV this year, but each with its own unique abilities has had advantages at certain stages throughout this year's rally. The OT3s claimed some special stage victories, including Cristina Gutierrez taking the first stage win for a woman in 20 years, and Seth Quintero becoming the youngest ever Dakar stage winner at just 18 years old. Today's stage win went to Chris Meek. After a difficult Dakar debut, the Northern Irishman finally breaking his duck. But in the end, it was experience that paid off overall and got the job done. Francisco Lopez Contado, taking 5 stage wins, has claimed his second Dakar crown in his Can-Am SSV. The most popular categories in the Dakar Rally are the trucks. Now, these guys leave the bivouac early in the morning, they head out onto the stage, and because the average speeds are just a little bit lower, they arrive at the next bivouac late at night. Very long days for these guys. Now, let's take a closer look. It weighs about 10 tons in total. Starting at the front, huge suspension system. It's a double strut system which is supported by a leaf spring, and you need all that support because often, remember, these trucks are in the air and they come slamming down in the middle of a stage. Moving down to the engine, it's a 13-litre diesel unit that's powered by a single turbo. Look at the size of this thing, it's absolutely ginormous. Now, that's fed by an air inlet which is at the top of the cab. Now, the reason that's up at the top instead of the bottom is because if it was at the bottom, it would just be sucking in sand and dust. So they mount that at the top, it comes down this pipe here into this ginormous filter which filters out any sand or dust which may be sucked in. It then feeds this enormous turbo, and that's what produces over 1,000 brake horsepower. Now, moving down the truck, the other thing that you'll notice is everything is low. You want to keep a centre of gravity as low as possible. If you start putting weight up high, it means the truck is more likely to be unstable and roll on the stage. So everything's kept low. It's very, very low slung. The other thing, the wheels. Take a look at the size of this. It's a 375/90 size tyre with a 22.5-inch rim. It's absolutely ginormous. It's bolted onto the truck with a 12-stud system. Now, if you're out on the stage and you pick up a puncture, to change one of these takes between 10 and 15 minutes on stage, and you need 3 people to do it, which means inside the truck you've got a driver, a navigator and an engineer. Believe me, you need all 3 to keep one of these things going through the stage. This is just one 350-litre diesel tank. There's another one on the other side making 700, and you've got a 200-litre diesel tank here. So that gives you 900 in total. Now, this thing uses, on average, 1 litre per kilometre. But if the terrain is particularly tough, you can see it using 2 litres of diesel per kilometre. The other thing that's worth mentioning is the braking system. Now on the KAMAZ it uses a drum brake on all 4 corners. You might be asking yourself, well, why aren't they using discs? Well, the issue with using a brake disc is that it doesn't dissipate the heat quite as well as a drum, and the last thing that you want out on stage is to hit the brakes when you've got 10 tons behind you and nothing happens. Domination, that's the word to use when referring to KAMAZ and their reign of victories at the Dakar Rally. In their 30th appearance on this event, KAMAZ have sealed their 18th outright win in the truck category, marking a staggering 60% win ratio. This year, Dmitry Sotnikov has taken 5 stage victories and sealed the win for the Russian manufacturer.
It was the best race in my career, and it was my dream and a lot of work, many years of work till my first Dakar 2014, and finally we won it. Last year we had a failure with a big storm, but this year everything was good.
The regulations in the Dakar Rally state that in the car category you can enter as either a 2-wheel drive or a 4-wheel drive, and that gives the engineers of each team a bit of creative freedom with their vehicle. Now you're probably thinking, on this terrain, surely you just opt for 4-wheel drive, that's got to be the better option. Well, there's a specific set of rules and regulations for each drivetrain to make sure it's a level playing field. Starting with the 4-wheel drive Toyota Hilux, it runs a powerful naturally aspirated 5-litre V8 petrol engine. But with a larger restrictor than the 2-wheel drive cars, power is limited to 390 brake horsepower and 600 newton meters of torque. It is also less efficient on fuel than its diesel counterpart and weighs more at 1,895 kilograms. Also, suspension travel is limited to 280 millimeters of travel. By comparison, the 2-wheel drive Mini is driven by its rear wheels only and runs a diesel-powered 3-litre turbocharged 6-cylinder unit producing 350 brake horsepower and a monstrous 770 newton meters of torque, helped in part by the smaller restrictor than the Hilux. It is also over 200 kilograms lighter, and critically, the suspension travel on the 2-wheel drive buggy by regulation is unlimited. So that's the mechanical differences between 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive, but probably the biggest difference is in the rubber, the tyres that they're allowed to run. Now straight away you can see there's a difference in size. This is the 4-wheel drive tyre, this is the 2-wheel drive. Now starting with the 4-wheel drive tyre, it runs a 16-inch rim and it's 810 millimetres from top to bottom. The sidewall is 200mm and it's 200mm across the top. Moving over to the 2-wheel drive, now straight away much bigger, 940mm top to bottom, 25mm sidewall and 25mm across the top. It's also a 17-inch rim as opposed to the smaller 16-inch on the 4-wheel drive. The only similarities between the two is when you compare the blocks. Now you can see it's exactly the same tread pattern across both of the tyres. The only difference is that obviously with this being a bigger tyre, it runs bigger blocks. Now, critically, on the 2-wheel drive, you're allowed to run an inflate and deflate system from inside the car, which means the driver can switch on a compressor and either draw air out of the tyre or push air into it. On the 4-wheel drive, you're not allowed to do that. The pressures are set, and if you want to change them in the stage, you've got to get out of the car and set them manually. For Andiyar, today was all about maintaining his lead, looking after the quad and ensuring that his navigation was on point. No need for a stage victory today, that accolade went to Pablo Capetti. Instead, second fastest through was plenty enough to secure the win for Manuel Andiyar here in Saudi Arabia. It's normally around this time of year that I'll go knocking on Toby Price and Sam Sunderland's camper and find things that I shouldn't find, namely your pants. But obviously because of the situation with COVID, I can't do that. So Toby, you're up, man.
All right.
Have you put your pants away?
Look, I've still got the same set on from the first day, so I don't think you're going to find them in there this trip. So, but look, we'll take you through a run through the camper, as Chenny says, all these new rules and stuff. So I'll say see you to the boys, and with all these new COVID rules, we have to abide by the rules. So as you can see, I got my camper and Sam Sunderland's camper. We've got all the gear outside here, airing out and getting all ready for the next day. So I'll just give a bit of a knock and make sure that Sammy's not naked in here. And Sammy, are you dressed? More or less? Okay, well, we're good. All right, so as we can see, Trenny can't come inside with us with all the COVID rules. So we'll just take you through a bit of a run through on the camper and kind of how we set everything out. So I'll start at the front. Basically this here is my bed. So we just hit the button here, the bed folds down. Then yeah, I've got pillows, blankets, everything all set up here, ready to go, cruising along. So in the cupboards, basically I've got like goggles, buff scarves, helmet, pads, gloves. These are my clothes, so just team wear and everything. This is the good drawer. This is all the lollies and the candy. This is pretty much all the stuff I like to eat during the rally. We've got a little bit of a kitchen set up here. It's a little bit messy at the moment. We've just got back from the stage, but this one's even better again. Some more chocolates. Sammy has labelled all these drawers, race food, US WE packs and snacks. G'day Sammy.
Yeah, the boys.
Yeah, the boys. He's up there resting away. So we've got a fridge here, got some Red Bulls, everything else we kind of need in it, but this is my cupboards. Got my jackets, pants, jerseys. From there we got like a shower that we can freshen up after a stage, get ourselves all sorted for these type of interviews. And toilet, we don't use this too often where we don't have to, because we don't want to stink the place out, but we try and look after ourselves, and I try and look after Sammy. All right, well that's pretty much our camper setup. That's everything we got this year. It's been a bit of a different tour than normal. We don't have Chen Dog in here and stirring us up, but hopefully you've enjoyed, and yeah, that's our Dakar 2021.
With a narrow lead for Benavides, it was all about keeping things calm and measured for the final 200 kilometres today. Sam Sunderland led the field away, but in what has been the case in many stages this year, navigation proved difficult and he lost nearly 12 minutes by the first waypoint. For Benavides, consistency was the key to this year's rally, and that consistency has been rewarded with his first Dakar victory. The stage win went to Ricky Brabeck, with Benavides following him home on the timesheets to secure the outright win. Winner of stage 5 and stage 9, the Honda rider has weathered the storm of attrition and managed his results to ensure back-to-back Dakar wins, and its first one for the Japanese manufacturer since 1987.
It's amazing. It's really difficult to explain this feeling, this sensation. Like, this was my dream, so now this moment is unbelievable. So I am so happy. Also, the stage was really hard, a lot of tricky navigation, and also I had to open like 150 kilometers. So it was a lot of nervous, but I was really focused to do my work, and yeah, it's true. Now it's true.
The competition in the car category was especially strong this year. New entries from the Bahrain Raid Extreme team with Sébastien Loeb at the forefront, but they struggled, the Frenchman eventually retiring. And as always, a fleet of overdrive prepared Toyota Hiluxes with Nasser Al-Attiyah leading the team. Al-Attiyah took 5 stage victories this year, but at times navigation caught the Qatari out and he lost time. As in the bikes, it was consistency for Mini's Stephane Peterhansel and solid navigation from his new co-driver Edouard Boulanger that reaped the rewards. 30 times Peterhansel has competed in the Dakar, both on 2 wheels and 4. 6 wins on the bikes and now 8 wins in the cars. 14 times he has won the world's most grueling race. Here are the overall results of this year's Dakar Rally. The best there's ever been and the best there's ever likely to be. Mr Dakar himself, 14 times a winner of the Dakar Rally. I suppose first of all we've got to say congratulations. I bet you didn't get much sleep last night, Stephane.
Yes. I'm really tired. For sure the pressure go down. But last night I just think about the possibility during the day. And it was a lot of pressure. The last 6 or 7 days it was a lot of pressure on the body. And now we are relaxed and we are really happy because to get this victory, this one is really a special one, you know. Which I changed just a few months ago, the co-driver. It was also really important for me to try to win this year, to celebrate the 30th anniversary between my first victory on this one. And also it was important to win here, to be the first with a victory in Africa, South America and Saudi Arabia, so in the 3 different continents. So it was too much pressure and now I'm really tired.
I bet you're exhausted. Listen, while I've got you, I want you to cast your mind back 30 years. 1991, you're throwing your leg over a Yamaha and you win your first ever Dakar Rally. Did you ever think in your wildest dreams
never
you'd go on do 14?
No, never, for sure, never. My first goal was to win just 1 time. And after I start to think that to beat the record of victory of motorcycle, it was 5. To win 6 times, it was the next target for me. But now, for sure, when I finish a race with a victory, I said, how is possible? Normally, it's not possible in one life for only one driver or rider to win 14 times. It's something not normal at the end, I think.
It's an incredible legacy to have. And listen, let's explore this year's Dakar Rally a little bit, shall we? Because for people at home, they don't realise that actually when you're leading the rally, there's more pressure on your shoulders than when you're chasing. Exactly. So you've had it tough for the last 10 stages.
Yes, exactly. I try to work on it because it's just a mental problem, you know. Because it's easy to say, okay, 1 more victory is nice, but it's not the most important thing. So, but I'm not able to say that, you know. I'm really focused, and it's all the night I think about the scenario for the next day. So, yeah, it's complicated to manage. Maybe I need to have a mental help for the future. I don't know.
We've got to talk about the team as well, because they've done a superb job. Winning an event like this is not just a driver and a co-driver, it's a team effort, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, my co-driver did an incredible job. Edouard Boulanger, for his first race in the top cars, he did really incredible job. So, and for me, I did also the job since the beginning, not too much mistake. To win one Dakar, it's not a quiet river, you know, it's always up and down, up, lot of emotion, up and down. So it's really special.
Normally we end these interviews by me saying, when are you going to stop? I think we need to go the other way now and say, what are you going to do? I think you need a new challenge. We need to dig out the skateboard again or something like that.
I don't know, no. It's always the same, you know, when we finish the race, we need to analyze, to take a rest, and we will see. But I don't know, maybe take a turn with new technology on the Dakar. I don't know, we will see.
that's it for the best of Dakar 2021. Now remember, you can follow all the day-by-day action by going and checking out Dakar Daily, available on demand on Red Bull TV, and you can keep up to date with everything motorsport related by following us using the handle @Red Bull Motorsports. Thanks for your company. Goodbye.